The Phillips Rotary Harrow. The Phillips Rotary Harrow is a big part of an overall soil and residue management system. Here are some of the features. Earlier start by warming and drying the ground. Heavy residue and trash easily worked. No plugging, no bunching, even in wet conditions. Ridge leveler, such as those made by anhydrous applications. Root promotion, by not producing a density change in the soil below the seed. Shallow incorporation, will not disturb the fragile seed bed. Low horsepower requirement, as little as 130. Fast working speed, you can cover up to 50 acres per hour. Easy transport system, hydraulically controlled from the cab. The Phillips Rotary Harrow evens out the field's surface moisture by lifting the residue with just a little mix of topsoil. The job can be best described as very light tillage that does not disturb the seed zone. This light tillage breaks up crusts and establishes a characteristic of drying out the surface of the soil to enable you to get on the field earlier while retaining the precious moisture below with the mulch you create. No-till and a minimum till farmers are using the same Phillips Rotary Harrow to fluff the residue mat and work the surface of the soil. With government surface residue requirements, you will find an immediate solution with the Phillips Rotary Harrow's exceptional ability to work in heavy residue and trash without plugging or bunching. Overall, this incredible soil management machine dries and warms the soil surface to enable farmers to get on their land earlier, which is actually lengthening their growing season. As you see, the Phillips Rotary Harrow does an excellent job of leveling ridges, even in heavy residue. With the low horsepower requirements and high working speeds, you can cover a lot of ground in a hurry. The Harrow also works in heavy corn stalks without plugging or bunching. The Phillips Rotary Harrow features an easy transport system. Folding to 13.5 feet high and just over 14 feet wide, is controlled right from the tractor cab. No need to get out and undo straps and chains when moving from farm to field. Simply hit the lever and the two hydraulics put the harrow down and away you go. When you're done in the field, simply hit the hydraulics, fold it up, and away you go to the next field. When using a soil finisher or cultivator or disc, the tillage pass will create a density change and cause horizontal root growth at the 3 to 4 inch level, which is the entire cultivation depth. In contrast, the system on the left is clearly deep-rooted, thanks to the superior soil density environment created by the Phillips Rotary Harrow. A plant seeded at the normal 1.5 inch depth will develop bulky roots within the top 3 to 4 inches of the cultivator loosened soil. When the roots downwardly reach the density change, that change will force most of the roots to grow horizontally. These deflected roots will not reach the moisture and nutrients they will need to develop the full potential of the plant. Using the Phillips Rotary Harrow, there is a perfect cover of loose mulch and soil. Then you plant just below this cover into the firm, moist soil. The plants then develop their root system uniformly through all depths of the soil, creating a plant that will maintain maximum growth throughout the season, giving the highest attainable yields. The root development you see here on the left is attainable with the proper soil density management, and Phillips Rotary Harrow plays an important part by not creating that density change. When used in canola or wheat fields and other small grains, the Phillips Rotary Harrow can be used after harvest as well as in the spring. After harvest spreads the chaff rows around, burying weed seeds and volunteer grain to stimulate fall growth. The flush of weeds and the volunteer growth will be killed with fall frost. The harrow is then used early in the spring to even out surface moisture conditions and help the soil warm up sooner. It doesn't matter how heavy the residue is, there won't be any plugging or any bunching. The sturdy frame design makes mounting a chemical applicator easy. These applicators can be used to sow small seeds, such as alfalfa or grass, as well as apply dry chemical. In a comparison with the Phillips Rotary Harrow and our competition, you will notice quite a difference in the finish left by the different styles of patented interlocking teeth. The teeth of our competitor's machine will leave a washboard pattern on the ground, hitting the ground in rows which cut grooves every 7 inches. The Phillips Rotary Harrow has a better staggered tool design, leaving the ground smoother and the teeth hitting the soil every 3 1/4 inches, creating a dotted pattern. This will create a smoother finish, greatly reducing the chances of planter bounce. As you can see, the rocky terrain does not bother the Phillips Rotary Harrow. The flexibility of the interlocking tool design allows the Harrow to roll over potential hazards in very rocky conditions. The heavy teeth of the Phillips Rotary Harrow are made of tough, heat-treated, high-carbon 3/4 inch steel and are simply hooked over each other 2 at a time. A 2-inch wire cable is inserted inside to add weight, but to still give flexibility and allow the Harrow to penetrate the hard ground. A robust bearing housing is attached to each end of the tool assembly. This heavy-duty housing has a 2-inch axle with a tapered bearing in one end and a 1.5-inch steady bearing in the other. The housing is double sealed with a rubber seal and a hard nylon dust seal that tightens as it's greased. With daily greasing, this bearing unit will give thousands of acres of trouble-free service. You can see the Phillips Rotary Harrow is a tool that can play a significant role in both conventional and conservation tillage practices, where trash management is mandatory. Call our toll-free number for a dealer near you today.